My name's Steve. I'm Senior Tech Support for Info Centre at ALLDATA here. I've got 30 years industry experience. Probably like most of you, I started through going through basic apprenticeship, working my way through the workshop. I've done some information compilation, diagnostic work, worked for a few other companies before finally coming here for technical support. Throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, you've got the option just to type them into the chat. And at the end, we will go over to my colleague, Amy, where we can hopefully answer any questions that you will put through. Okay, if we just start with the home page here, which I'm sure everybody is now familiar with, we're just going to make our way across the top items here. Okay, and what we're going to do is initially, we're going to search for vehicles, how we can actually get into the vehicles and the different ways that we can do it. Whenever you come to this home page, the default for this system is going to go to plate. So any number plate that you have, you will simply type in. And every time you've typed in the number plate, you will need to press return. And then the system will search, pull through the vehicle's information and present you with the page of what information is available for said vehicle. If you need to go back to the beginning, don't use the back tab, just simply click vehicles and you will end up at the first page again. To the right here, you have the option of platform. Now, platform is plate, as we've just said. Clicking on here, you can then manually select, if you didn't have the number plate of the vehicle, any vehicle that you may choose from. So as an example, we will go for an Audi A1 and a 2011 1600 TDI. If you know the engine code, perfect. If not, you can have one of the two selections here. Select which one is applicable to yourself. And again, it's going to pull through the information for the vehicle that you've accepted. This page here will always look the same for any vehicle that you search for, highlighting what information is available. It's when we go further forward through these chapters, the information will look different because, as some of our competitors do, they rewrite and redraw the information. Our information is exactly as you would see it in the manufacturer system. So if any of you, for example, have a subscription to Irwin, you will see that the information within is identical to Irwin as it is for Renault Infotech, as it is for Volvo Vida, etc. We're going to come back to the home page again now. We've looked under platform. You also have the option of YMME, and that is year, manufacturer, model and engine. And that will essentially speak for itself. Once you've selected away from the default plate section here, we can select the year of the vehicle. So you may have in your workshop a 2020 Citroen C1. And then from here, you have the three options that's available to that vehicle. Again, once selected, it's going to take you through to the pages we've seen already a couple of times now. I'll take us back to the home page again. And for the example of this, we are going to look at a fairly common vehicle, a 2019 Audi A3. It's a 2-litre TFSI variant. And as said, once vehicle is selected, this page here is all the information that's available to that vehicle. And there's one of a few ways that we can access this information. Popular information is exactly that. These subcategories here are the most popular information that the majority of people are going to access for a vehicle throughout the working day. System and components, again, this will speak for itself. So body and frame would be any of your bodywork information that you need, cruise control information related to that system, cooling system, heating, air conditioning, etc. Again, any chapter that you click on is going to reveal more information underneath for any system that you need to work on. If we have a look under maintenance, this could be, as we might want to call it, your bread and butter jobs. So if you've got a vehicle in for servicing, this is the ideal place to go. Again, for any vehicle, it's going to give you that basic information, simply down to even taking wheels and tires off if you want wheel nut torques, jacking points, etc., timing belt information, whatever that may be. Just follow any of these links here, or these chapters, should I say, sorry, and then that's going to show you some more information within. When you've selected any information from the first chapter screen that you've gone to after selecting vehicle, such as heating and air conditioning, when you want to go back to the home page, don't click the back tab or vehicle here in the top left, just click the vehicle icon here. And every time you click on that, that's going to take you back to the first subsection of where you've got all the information options available for yourself. On the right hand side here, you have a search box. That search box will look for any information that's available in any of the chapters that you see around the screen here. You can break that down by typing anything in: heating, air conditioning, brakes, whatever it may be, it will break those section downs. I'll cover that in a second for you in a bit more detail. Coming back to systems and components, if we have a look under something under engine, again, when you click on this, whatever the subsection may be, everything will then be presented to you in an alphabetical order. Again, whatever you need to be working on, you can use the search box up here to narrow that search down, or just simply follow down the screen to find out whatever you need to see. If we have a look at something fairly common, such as an oil cooler, once clicked on that, you're then going to get three various subsections of information that's available. So description and operation about the component. If that's available, it's going to tell you about that system. Diagrams will be exploded views and wiring if available. And of course, if you actually want to do the mechanical repair, anything mechanical will be under service and repair. And we will click on removal and replacement, which will show you exactly that. A very simple chapter for this, but this is how it's going to appear. Anything that you see within chapters that's highlighted in blue is going to highlight that there's more information available behind this. So it's a hyperlink. So if we click on here, after knowing how to do the job, if you wanted tightening torques, that's highlighted here, follow the hyperlink and it's going to take you through to another page, which will show you exactly that, the tightening torques and the exploded view of the component, which might aid in anything from knowing what's involved, how to put the system back together, anything along those sort of lines. Okay, remembering to click vehicle here on the left hand side to come back to the information that's available. In the search box up here, you can type anything that you want that's relatable to any vehicle, and the search synonymy in there will find that for you. So if we type in brake, just as an example, that's going to pull through every item of information related to this vehicle under brake, and it's going to break it down under separate chapters. So starting at the top, service and repair, as we've already said, this is going to be mechanical information. Anything to do with the mechanical side will appear under here. Any relatable technical service bulletins, wiring diagrams, testing and inspection if available, specifications. So again, with something like this, if you wanted the simplicity of disc minimum thickness, pad minimum thickness, run out, whatever it may be, that will be the section for you under specs, various locations, and any service precautions that you may need to take into account. For me, when I use a system, I will always refer to the search box. Some people do like just to search under here. Again, it's down to you, whatever you find the easiest. For me, it would always be the search box up here just to see exactly what's available. The more you type in, the more it's going to break down what's available. As you can see there now, it's just now looking for information to do with the brake pads on there. Okay. I'll just come out of this. Now I'm going to select the chapter that we just went back into. So if we're going to go back into engine, and I will go back to the oil cooler for you here. And someone is working on this vehicle and they want to replace the oil cooler, but at the same time, you might want to go off and do another job. Some parts might be turning up. Likewise, with the system that I'm going to show you now, you might want to plan for work ahead, coming in maybe tomorrow, the rest of the week, whatever it is. And it's a bookmarking section, which is here. So what you would do is hover over the bookmark section, simply click it, and it's going to highlight a box that says new bookmark. Now you can either keep it as the heading here. The system will always default to the heading of the chapter of the information that you're looking at, or you could simply type in there oil cooler job for Mr. Jones. Done. And that's going to save your bookmark. The process of this is now we can come back out to select another vehicle. So for, as an example again, if we were going to be working on the Citroen C1 that we looked at earlier, just let that load through for you. And you were looking at some wiring information. Just open some ABS up quickly. So some wiring overview here for a Citroen C1. but you needed to get back to the Audi quickly that you were working on before, all you would need to do is go to your bookmark section. And as you can see here, your oil cooler job is waiting for Mr. Jones. Give him a click. And what will happen, you're going to jump straight back to the page that you left it on. And you can do that for up to 20 vehicles. As soon as you've finished with a bookmark, simply delete it and it's going to free up more space. But that's a super useful tool just to be able to jump in and out of jobs, etc. Okay, so I'll just go back to the home page again for you. After bookmarks, you're going to see Info Center. So Info Center is the department that I work in. So if you have any requests, they're either going to come through to myself or one of my colleagues. And you can use this if you're having issues with system operation, you can't find some information, or what you may see on the system, as an example, will be certain vehicles will be asterisked out, or the text will be grayed out, and it will be in a slightly looking italic text as well. Sorry, let me just open a simple example. So for anything Dodge here, you had the delight of a Dodge Caliber in the workshop, a 2006 2.4 variant. Go through to the vehicle, but as you can see, it says here, limited information available. You need to contact myself, colleagues in Info Center. Now, remember this, for any vehicle that you see in the system, if no information is being displayed, it doesn't mean to say that the information is not available to you. It just means that you need to request it through Info Center. So another unique point with ALLDATA is we're the only aftermarket provider of information that can provide you directly with manufacturer's information sent to you in its original format. So anything that you want for a vehicle that isn't on the system, all you need to do is ask, and if it's available through the manufacturer's workshop system, you're able to have it. So from here, after you try to click in, as you can see, compared to the pages before, absolutely nothing available. But not to worry, all we do is hover over Info Center, and you're going to want to do yourself a new request. If you have the right vehicle selected, all of this information is going to be pre-populated. If it's not, don't worry, you can open this from anywhere. And then as you can see, you can select any vehicle that you have in the workshop that you're going to need information for. Please make this as accurate as possible for us. We have to have the vehicle's VIN number. Without the VIN number, I can't access manufacturer systems and be able to provide that information accurately to you. So as an example, we will pop this VIN number in here. We would need a description. So for this vehicle, for argument's sake, you have an issue with the ABS. Issue with ABS system. And you want to do some component checks on it. So you would like some wiring information. So in the description box down here, please provide ABS wiring. Not a problem. You can also upload some information. For wiring information, mechanical information, sometimes this really isn't needed, but certainly for you guys that do a lot more bodywork sometimes, to highlight the section of the vehicle that may be damaged helps us to provide more information to you. So you can take a picture of the vehicle, send it to us, and then that helps us send back some more accurate information for you. Once you've done this, all you would do is click submit. And you'll have a banner that pops up at the top of the screen, request sent. We email you a link for your information shortly. So you will have an email saying that we've received your request, no problem. And then you're going to need to wait for us to get the information back to you. For an Info Center request, you will have a maximum of a 4-hour wait. In reality, this normally is a lot quicker, but as I say, up to a maximum of 4 hours. To the right here, service intervals is exactly the same process, but you're just going to be asking for a specific service schedule for a vehicle, and they are an hour's turnaround maximum. Once you've done your new request, you will see under here you have my requests. If you go into there, when the status is open, that means that it's being looked at. When it goes to closed, that means that the information's completed for you and it's sent back. So you can either go in here to view, and you will also get an email notification come up with a link that's going to take you directly back to your request with the attachments in a PDF format that can come through to you. To the right over here, there's a simple contact us section as well. So if you have any issues with your billing, invoices, general orders, product, sales side, whatever it is, if you just give one of these relevant boxes a click, you can simply put a few comments in here, any questions that you have, submit, and that will come back to the relevant department here, and we can be able to get back to you with any information that you require, any questions, etc. Running back to some manufacturers now. If we have a look under BMW, that is one manufacturer that's going to look different to the rest when you click in. So as you can see now, we have to have the VIN number provided in this search box up here. And the reason for that is every other manufacturer on the system, you're accessing our servers. BMW, you're going directly through to BMW system ISTA. So we're acting as a pass-through for you to go directly to the manufacturer's system. And that's why the vehicle's VIN number needs to be put in. Another manufacturer that you may get to work or have in your workshop will be Porsche. And again, with how our licensing agreement works currently, we can't publish any information directly to our system. So for every model, information is not available directly to you, hence the text's looking like this. But again, for any model, if you have the VIN number and Porsche provide the information, we go directly to their system and we can send it directly to you. Okay, that brings us to the end of our first webinar for you. As I say, it was just a basic overview of how to access the system, etc. If you have any questions, as I say, if you popped them in the chat, perfect. And we'll go over to Amy now for any questions that you may have.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. Firstly, thank you everyone for joining us. Just before we go through the questions, we've had quite a few of you asking if we will be sharing a copy of the recording. And yes, we will. We'll share it on our YouTube channel, and also for anyone who registered, we'll send you a link as soon as it's published, so you'll be able to see the recording. We'll also be sending you all a feedback form later today to give you some feedback on the session. But most importantly, we'll also be asking what other topics you'd like to see an ALLDATA training session on. So if there are any specific manufacturers or specific features you'd like more information on, then please just let us know in the feedback form and we'll get another training session set up to answer that for you. So first question we've had, Steve, is can you get Tesla data?
Yes, we can. Tesla is included in the product, but if there's any questions as to specific data that you can't see, find, again, Info Center, and we can help you directly from it. That's not a problem.
Cool. And then we've had, is there any limit to how many Info Center requests we can send?
No limit at all. I mean, obviously, if you feel like you might have multiple requests, please just get as much information on your initial inquiry so we can get as much information over to you in one hit. But if you need to keep asking repeat questions, it's no problem at all. There is no limit.
Great. A question from Michael. Is it possible to have ALLDATA in Dutch?
No, the main languages that we can have is English, Spanish, German, French, and Italian, sorry, but not specifically Dutch.
Another question, how long does it take to get the information? I think that means from an Info Center request.
From an Info Center request, okay, so yeah, from an Info Center inquiry, mechanical wiring, etc., that would be anywhere from 0. So sometimes if we can be right on it, 10-20 minutes up to a maximum of 4 hours, and a service schedule request is up to a maximum of 1 hour.
Great, thank you. Another question from Ben, how many bookmarks can we add?
Bookmarks is a maximum of 20. So just please make sure once you've finished with a single bookmark, just to delete that so you can start adding more for yourself.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other training resources you have, and can we book training?
Yes, there is. So we will do bespoke training for individuals and garages if required. So for some people, they may not be too familiar with the electrical side, as some people are mechanical, vice versa. So whatever it is, we can just have a one-to-one session, or we can get a group of you from the workshop around a computer and just tailor anything to your needs. That's no problem at all. To do that, all you would need to do is contact account management, and we can get this set up for you. It's no problem.
Great. And we've had another question from Robert. What's the coverage of wiring diagrams?
Any specific wiring diagrams? I mean that's a really broad question, Robert. For the majority of vehicles that you will see in the list here, all wiring is available. Some manufacturers, dependent on model type and age, would have more coverage than others, but there's a lot of wiring information in there. I wouldn't hazard a guess exactly in percentage wise how much is there, but for every vehicle that you will see in the system, you will find wiring there. But I'll always refer back to this. If you're having issues finding something specific or you need anything clarified, just drop us an info center request and we can assist you directly from there.
Then we've had a couple of questions about repair times and labour times. Can you just give a brief overview of that, Steve, and how the outline that's an add-on to all data repair, please?
Yeah, so standard all data repair doesn't include labour times. You can add labour times on as an extra. Forgive me, I don't know the exact cost of that currently, but then that's going to give you all your normal repair times that you would expect for vehicles, be it mechanical, electrical, bodywork, etc., which will appear under normal subsections, etc.
Thank you. And we've had a question for Jeep. Does it cover the new models, the electric ones, and the repair manuals? Sorry.
Yes, it will. Again, with Jeep and Dodge at the moment, we don't have a huge amount of coverage that's specifically direct to the product, but we have direct access to the manufacturer's system there. So any new vehicle, anything that you want, provide us with the VIN number and what you want, and we can get it across directly to you.
We've had a question from Michael. Can you show how to see technical service bulletins or recalls quickly in the product?
Yeah, no problem at all. With anything, I will say this as I'm looking at it, for any TSBs or recalls, etc., I would always recommend putting an info center request in just to see if there's anything that's more current or anything specific to your vehicle. Sometimes with some technical service bulletins, you will get them that will cover like across a generic range, if that makes sense. I would always prefer just to make sure that everything's up to date for you. So VIN number, info center, just to be 100%. If you just bear with me, I'm just loading the screen now. Which of course is going to take an age.
We've had another question in the meantime. Do we cover Kia and Mazda? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah, yes and yes. Yes. You may see again with Kia, and we've had a couple of issues with getting information directly on the product. But again, no problem. It's just direct through info center for us. Let me just flick back across to my screen. Hopefully everybody can see that. We'll go back to the example of the Audi that we were looking before. Technical service bulletins will appear under popular information. Likewise, as we can search for it up here if you had any issue as well. Once we click in technical service bulletins, you will get a list of them come up. VAG, for argument's sake, will have this number here. The last 2 digits there are the publication type. So 3, if that went on to 4, there would be a later version, etc. But you can just simply flick up and down this list. You may have a known issue with the vehicle or something that's coming to the workshop or something that your customer might have described that you might want to know if there's a known issue. That might be hard to replicate through here, but again, I can search for that through info center for you. I hope that's answered your question, but that's where it will appear underneath here once you've selected your vehicle. Just going back now to it. Popular information, technical service bulletins, and then everything that's available will appear under there.
Great, thank you, Steve. We've had a question. Suzuki service info. Do you have these? Do you have this information?
No, currently, hopefully it's a manufacturer that we will be gaining a license and agreement with. But currently Suzuki is something we don't. As you may have seen, Mitsubishi as well. Hopefully that's coming again soon. Essentially, sometimes I do get asked questions with manufacturers' listings of brands that aren't in there. Sometimes we will get exotic questions such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, etc. If you can't see the manufacturer in the list on the left, I can't help you with that currently. We have to have a license and agreement in place for us to be able to publish the information and for me to access the manufacturer's system. So if you don't see it under the manufacturer's listing, I can't help you with anything more.
Another question, is it possible as a Swede that I can search for a Norwegian license plate?
I think you can. I don't often have too much to do with that. If you want to take that question offline, I can double check that for you. or if you want to drop me an info center request, reference the back of this webinar, I can find out directly for you.
I'm just checking through the ones you've already answered. The final one I think we've got is Peugeot Citroën wiring diagrams. So the diagram is active in original data. Is there any tips for how you find a component name from the number in the diagram?
Yeah, so within there, depending which one it is, you will have the way the French like to work, obviously, as well. So Peugeot, Citroën, etc., outside of everybody else out there, will like to number their wires. So you obviously always ignore the color, component numbers, wire numbers as well, and you will have a component list. They're currently not active in our system, so if you did want further information, I can help. If you need the component list for Peugeot Citroën, if you please just drop me an info center request. I've got a generic one that will cover the majority of all of this. I can just send you one directly that you can keep, which I hope would help.
Great. I think that's all the questions that we've had, and we're just in time. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you do have any other questions or any other information you'd like, as we said, we'll be sending you a feedback form so you can let us know what other topics you'd like to see webinars on. Or you can always raise an info center request to get to Steve directly, and he'll answer as many questions as we can for you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you very much for joining. As I say, hopefully this is one of the first of many, and we can delve a bit deeper into specific manufacturers and items going forward.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thanks very much. Bye now.